Hey everyone, welcome back. So instead of doing a speed run, I have this theme. There's this midweek magic thing that's going on right now that I want to participate in, and it only has 24 hours left. And I want to participate a lot of time in it. So the special theme is that we have access to all the standard cards, so we can make whatever stupid deck we want to make. I have a lot of ideas, and not a lot of cards. Therefore, I have a lot of stupid decks I want to make that I know won't work. Last time in Strixhaven, I did this with Cody. Before we figured out the last piece that made Cody good, I tried to do it with a Teamer deck. And it failed, and I lost every single one of my rare crafts to it. So, we're hoping to take advantage of this to see what sort of stupid jank we could create see if it actually works. So this first one, I'm going to do the ones I enjoy the most first. So the first one that I'm hoping for is Deadly Blex here. So I could show everyone. So, first of all, let me explain where the idea comes from. So there's a card called Finn the Fanebearer. So it's a one that whenever a Death Touch creature does combat damage to a player, they get 2 poison counters. Now a lot of people have the idea of get a lot of Death Touchers, get Finn, and then you play. Oh right. Has not collected? Huh. Pugilist. I'm trying to find it right now. There it is. Augmenter Pugilist. So it has an opposite side, Echoing Equation. You choose a creature you control. Each other creature becomes a copy of it until end of turn. So the idea was to use the Echoing Equation on Finn the Fanebearer to turn like 3 or 4 of your creatures into Finn, and then if 2 get through on the attack, you win the game. The problem is, if Finn dies, that fails. If the Echoing Equation, you need to have double blue in your deck. In a Death Touch deck. Blue doesn't have Death Touch creatures. That's basically green and black solely mechanic. So, the only blue here is Zargoth Triumph, which is fetched out with Binding of the Old Gods. And instead of the Augment Pugilist instead of the Echoing Equation to make a dozen of them, I'm just gonna have a few double majors to duplicate creatures. So it just makes a single duplicate, which is all I need. In addition, the problem with Fane, you have to basically, if you're at 8 poison counters, if they're nearly dead with poison, and then they just make sure you never get to play Finn again. They just kill them and make sure that you never get to play Finn again. Finn fails. There's no other. The other win condition is to slowly turn them down with 1/1 Death Touchers. All those things make me not like Finn. So I want to take that same concept, but I want to make it more secure. I want to have a stronger approach. So instead of Finn being poison counters, I chose Hooded Blightfane as my main card. So this is a 1/4 Death Toucher, and whenever a creature I control with Death Touch attacks, each opponent loses 1 life, and I gain 1 life. So that's the main thing. It also destroys Planeswalkers, which is pretty cool. But basically, instead of having a bunch of Death Touch creatures, I'm going to have just Hooded Blightfane. I do have some good Death Touchers. Mire Triton, Falmer Knight, good Death Touchers. But I'm going to use the final trigger of Binding of the Old Gods to give all my creatures Death Touch. That's how I plan to do the finishing blow. From there, there's one strategy of using that. Dina Soul Steeper is an additional creature so that when they lose 1 life and I gain 1 life, that 1 life gain triggers Dina, which causes them to lose 1 life. Double major on that could work as well. Also, Blightfane is not a legendary creature, so if I just happen to draw three of them, I could just play 3 Hooded Blightfanes and perhaps just win the game off of that. There's a second part of this deck, which I really enjoy. So Blex, Vexing Pest. So other pests, bats, insects, snakes, and spiders you control get +1/+1, and when it dies, you gain 4 life. It also has an alternative side to help me search for cards, which is cool, but not really what I'm using it for. This thing gives everything +1/+1 while I'm waiting for the Death Touch triggers. That includes my Eye Twitch. That includes all my pests that will be the many basically, the idea is I make a dozen pests so that they all gain Death Touch, and then Hooded Blightfane drains out my opponents. So, with that, we have this additional pest synergy. If I double major Blex, that's +2/+2. That turns every one of my pests into 3/3s. With Sedgemoor Rich, I could get a bunch of those. There is an actual Blex combo synergy strategy in here, on top of the Death Touch strategy. And here's another theme. Where Finn the Fanebearer is not a constructed playable card without that combo, where Augmenter Pugilist is just a little behind constructed without that combo, Sedgemoor Witch, that's just a good card. Binding of the Old Gods, that's just a good card. Hooded Blightfane, a little weak, but very much in play. Very much playable. Falmer Knight, good Death Toucher. Mire Triton, just good Death Toucher. Eye Twitch, just good creature. All the sideboard, because I have a little blue, I could splash in Teachings of the Archaics to make sure I get enough card draw. So which, because of that, I'm probably going to go down one Locked Lane, up one Swamp. But yeah, look at that. Like, I have all these options. I have 7 learns, plus Call of Death Throws to get me more Eye Twitches if I need them. Like, we have a bunch of different options. So it's a Death Touch deck, but it's also a Blex deck, and it's able to synergize with those as well, which basically means I have multiple win conditions, and because I have multiple win conditions, if they manage to take me out in one direction, I still have the other. Oof. I really like that. I might need to add a Lair of the Hydra or something, because, like, the main issue with this deck is if my opponent starts board clearing. I don't know how I answer that, but I really like the concept. So, yeah. I mean, I've always wanted Blex to see play. Blex was such a fun-looking card, so I'm really hoping Blex makes their debut and makes it well. Alright, we're facing Julius. We have an Eye Twitch into Dina. Then we get a card draw with Foulmire Knight while having a Classical Locked Wayne. I like it. Alright, Shambling Ghast. I'm okay blocking that with Eye Twitch. That is an instant speed adventure. That's good. I'm starting to wonder if, like, maybe I should have some... So one of the things is, when I build decks the first time, I build it with no interaction. I just try to do my theme, see how it feels. So... I don't want to give them a treasure token. I have a feeling they have a play that they want to make that they can't because Shambling Ghast is alive. Alright. Well, they had to draw cards. Oh, they could have sacrificed the treasure token. Ah, so they would have gotten a free kill. Got it. Well, they wanted more treasures. I wonder what they're ramping those treasures into. Alright. We play Dina, and we'll swing in. And that double major, we already have a Zardoth Triumph, so we can't actually use double major later. Wow. That's what they were doing. Got it. Everything makes sense now. Alright, so, awesome. My opponent managed to make Skeletal Swarming a playable card. Or at least that's what they're trying to do. I don't think they could play 3 skeletons in a single turn, but it seems like they have just the Create Treasures, Life Gain Up sort of deck. Or not Life Gain Up, but when a creature dies this turn sort of triggers. Fortunately, if I could get Binding of the Old Gods, I could destroy their Skeletal Swarming, which will... Because I wanted to get Skeletal Swarming working as well, I just couldn't figure out how I was going to do it. Alright, Hooded Blightfane. Not really in position yet. Gonna play that tapped land. So I could set more which, then if I draw a land, I could Hood Blightfane and double major it. I like that. And then the double major makes the pest, but... Whew. One of the main issues I'm dealing with right now is... I do not have Binding of the Old Gods. Honestly, Binding of the Old Gods, I have 4 copies of it. It could destroy the Skeletal Swarming and put me back in a good position. I'm going to use the Eye Twitch to block one of the skeletons, I think. Prevent them from swarming any further. They'll probably sacrifice the one I block with Dina so that they could draw a card. So, I have no real qualms there. Alright. Do they have... How big's their party? Just a rogue? Yep. Let's show them the other Dina. Because I don't really need 2 Dinas. Alright, that's good for me. They have to use their treasure now if they want to get Skeletal Swarm, if they want to sacrifice one of these skeletons, so... They're forced to attack the skeletons. I'm blocking one with the Eye Twitch. Oh! Could I? I need to look at... I do have a spell to take care of the Skeletal Swarming. Containment Breach. Where is it? Right there. So I can Containment Breach and still Foulmire Knight. Alright, so that takes care of that. And whenever this dies, I'm going to gain a life. And yeah, I'll just play an Eye Twitch. Alright. So yeah, even though I'm not... this thing has Menace, but they'll just double block, and I can't kill the one that matters. Alright. Whew. Alright, so they're deadly disputing one of their skeletons. So they, yeah, because they need to draw into their combo pieces. And the Faceless Havens were a bit ambitious, I feel. Snow decks with multicolor is always a little tough. They're trying to draw into a land and Skeletal Swarming is my guess. Either that or they're getting the Faceless Haven. It's triggered. Because of, yeah, 4-3 Faceless Haven, I probably am going to have to block with a Sedgemoor Witch. I'm okay with that. Nothing has Death Touch right now. So, here's the question. Do I still Hooded Blightfang and then just Foulmire Knight? Or do I want to draw cards? I think I want to keep playing. This deck is not going to board clear, and that is the reason why I'm going to just keep applying creatures onto the board. They want to hit the Sedgemoor Witch, they're losing life in the process. It looks like they have a fight spell, by the way they held that up. They have something. I'm trying to think what's in double green like that. Binding. Yep. Best card. Alright. Well, that's okay. If I could get my own binding, I could get myself an advantage here. Oof. Alright, so I could Hooded Blightfang and double major it. Attack, gain 3 life, make them... Oh, that actually loses them 6 life if I do that attack. That means by, yeah, Hooded Blightfang, double major, threatens lethal next turn. Or does it threaten lethal this turn? Yeah, I think it threatens lethal. Not this turn, but they're nearly dead with this play. So now I have 3 Hooded Blightfangs plus Dina. And then I attack with these 2. And we have 6 triggers, which then also trigger this, so he takes 12 damage. Who even needs Binding of the Old Gods? Alright, so I attack with a Hooded Blightfang next turn and I win. Yep, they're triple blocking, because they have to. I'm killing the Skullport Merchant. Let me get to the Skullport. They have to kill... Yeah, they have to Necrotic Fumes and Eye Twitch. That's the only way... Or a Hooded Blightfang. That's the only way they live through this next turn. And even then, I'll just sacrifice a Pest to deal the last point of damage. Unless they have more removal. Because, yeah, I could sacrifice with Dina to get some other triggers. Oof. Well, Hooded Blightfang showed why it's valuable. Hooded Blightfang showed why it's valuable. I do appreciate it, Hooded Blightfang. I do appreciate it. Yeah, if they Faceless Haven, I'm just going to block with an Eye Twitch and the Pest. Keep my creatures, my important creatures alive. So Dina, what jank is happening right now? I believe if you look at it, you can see the deck over on the side. It's a Hooded Blightfang. It's basically a Death Touch trigger deck using Blex. So it has 2 win conditions, which is Blex, Vexing Pest, and these Hooded Blightfangs, which they had to just Necrotic Fumes and use a bunch of removal to kill. Which leaves up the best Death Toucher of all. Because, you know, fairness is not in our vocabulary. That's great. That's great. But yeah, tell me if the Dexter theme works. Over in the right corner of the screen, you should be able to click on it and see the deck itself. Alright, so the first one was a win. Archpriest of Iona. Whew. So I'm planning to play, if I can, I'd like to play 5 games of each. I'm on mobile, I'll check it in a bit on CPU. Alright. Sounds dope, though. Glad to hear. Yeah, this is one of the ones I was very excited for. Oh my gosh, we got another Eye Twitch into Dina if we want, or we could just go straight into Hunt for Specimens. Alright, I like this hand. But yeah, it's fun. It seems effective so far. We won 1 game, though that was against the Skeletal Swarming deck. So, not sure how much of a Portable hole. I mean, sure. Alright, hunt for specimens. What do I want? I think I might just grab environmental sciences as a safety net, but I might basic conjuration though. Try to think what I want. I'm going to grab environmental sciences as a safety net. We have next turn we can get environmental sciences, swamp, eye twitch, and then we can figure out what we want to do on future turns. Portable holing and eye twitch. I mean, they don't have a threat to kill. Are they also going to learn environmental sciences? Because environmental sciences is just a good card. That's why it shows up a lot. Alright, reduce to memory, so I have to be careful when I reveal my Hooded Blightfane. Okay. Get myself a swamp. I'm wondering if I could fit Malakir Rebirths into this deck, so that as they try to kill fiends, I have other things I could be doing. Oh! I can Containment Breach and kill the Portable Hole. Alright. Let's see, if I Sedgemoor Witch, they're probably going to reduce it to memory. Oh, well, if they reduce it to memory, that's actually a positive for me at this point. Yeah. I'm going to leave these up so I could double block the Lawnmower Visionary if they throw it in. If they feel the need to reduce this to... Okay, Teleportation Circle. Okay. I can reduce one of these to memory. If I attack with a Sedgemoor, they have to double block to kill it, so I'm happy with that. Just trying to think through my play. So I think I Dina, and then So I want to hunt for specimens to make more pests, and then Dina to get myself some life when they die. So I'm going to play Hunt for Specimens, get myself a Containment Breach. I cannot play it this turn, but I can play Dina in its place. And I guess I'll hold that one back. It's not really doing anything of value. It's going to be chumped by the 2/2, probably. And if they double block on the Sedgemoor Witch, I am more than happy because it has Menace. They can't block it with just one. Awesome for me. The Sedgemoor Witch got me a pest. That's all I was looking for. If they board clear, I can Containment Breach the Teleportation Circle. I have two Containment Breaches in my sideboard because I knew destroying artifacts and enchantments would be important. I am perfectly fine turning Dina into a 3/2. That's probably going to do as much for me as I need. Alright. So yeah, I can then pop the Teleportation Circle, and they have some combo that they're trying to get to. I do need to pop the Teleportation Circle. If I could get Biome of the Old Gods right now, that would actually be fantastic, because then I could destroy that, get myself ready for the Death Touch combo turn, and yeah, like so many good things. I think I still go with this, though. No need for the pests to suicide themselves just yet. If we could find Binding of the Old Gods. So one of the big things is this deck synergizes with Binding of the Old Gods, and I've drawn 0 of them. And that's not appreciated. Alright. I think I'm attacking with all, then I'm just going to play this now if I just don't get a play. Because I have a Castle Locked for a card advantage once the time comes. Yep. That's definitely the play. So I'm just attacking with all here. Force them to make trades and start dealing with this board. And I need to start getting good cards, you know. Nothing had Death Touch, so that's why I waited for now. We now have 2 Hooded Blight Fiends. Each of them, when they attack, gains me a bunch of life. We now have 2 Castle Locktwains. They have to Apparition one of the Blight Fiends. That's perfectly fine. I can... Oh, I have to... That's where the Teleportation Circle becomes strong. Oh my gosh, I now see the power of that Teleportation Circle. I have to attack with... Yeah, so I just need to destroy these Teleportation Circles, and I only got 1 Contamination Breach, and none of my Binding of the Old Gods. Alright, 1, 2... So this would cost 4 mana total, so I might as well play this first. Let's see. If I attack with Blightfane, it doesn't really do much. They just block with the Lawnmower Visionary and the Charming Prince, and I do not need that block right now. I'm okay with losing the 3-2 and getting a little more damage in. Alright, now I have a Castle Locktwain trigger. They're not going to have discard, so I think I just do this now. I'll do it at the end of turn. I feel like there's like some reason you want to do it at the end of turn, like prevent them from having some look at your hand effect. They are green-white, I just want to, you know, be secure. The ability to Teleportation Circle their Skyclave Apparition is an issue. Thankfully, this is standard, not standard 2022, so I get to Castle Locktwain and be garbage in that moment. Yep, they're gonna probably bounce the Skyclave, try to get themselves more creatures, that sort of stuff. Oh. So they're just drawing a card then. Okay. They are low on cards. It's just they have so much like cycling and scrying and stuff that they have other ways of getting there. So fortunately, Skyclave cannot just eat up the tokens. So once they bounce it, I get a 3/3, which can start swinging in. And if they eat my Eye Twitch, I do get a 1/1, though it's not a good position to be. Blex allows all of my creatures to swing in quite positively. The only one it doesn't buff is Mire Triton and the Illusion if they have it. And yeah, they're at 10 health, so just aggression is a win condition right now. And I appreciate that. Well, they will eat up my Blex with Skyclave immediately after. I have it for a moment, and I appreciate it. Whew. Don't know what their last card is. They haven't made any plays to prove it. They've had Charming Princess to scry, so I feel like if it's a land, they would have played it already. They scryed enough that wouldn't be a land. It's probably a protective spell of some sort. Maybe Heroic Intervention? Who knows? Well, they're stuck in this position. I appreciate it. I'm definitely swinging with Mire Triton if they don't exile it. And if they exile it, I just swing in with a 3/3. Okay, I'm starting to think... So I don't think the opponent's being rude. I think the opponent legitimately... this is an unranked match, so I do believe the opponent just was like, hey, I'm in the middle of this game, and then something happened, I have to go take care of that theme. So I'm not going to blame the opponent for this timeout here. Just... unfortunate. I'm going to use this now. They chose nothing. Yeah, they left. They not here right now. Whew. Alright, Morphine T-Rex. It's a little unfortunate that you disconnected or whatever it is that happened to you, but I need to get back to my games, you know? I'd really appreciate if I didn't spend most of this video, or the stream, just watching you run your time out. I mean, again, if you're just absent because you had to be... I'm not too angry, I'm just kind of annoyed. Let me put it that way. I did want to see what sort of tricks they had up their sleeves. Teleportation Circle's pretty cool. I did want to see what tricks they have up their sleeves. So that's 2 wins. I don't have all rares, obviously, so I'm wondering why it gave me 20 gems instead. I know they have duplication protection. I thought the duplication protection was if you draw a rare that you already have 4 of, it gets you a different rare. If it's just you get a rare you already have 4 of, you get 20 gems. I mean, probably a lot easier, probably a lot faster than the thousands of checks or whatever, but just surprised me. Just surprised me. That's all. Alright. So we have Zargoth Triome into Loctwain. We don't have a fast hand, but I think we keep it anyways, because we do have card draw with Falmire, Iron, Loctwain. We have a Call of the Death Dweller with Blightfane and stuff like that. Like, I think this is still an okay hand, even though, like, most of our deck, I'm pretty sure, is 2 mana. So, we'll draw into that, probably. We now have everything playable. I don't need to worry about Falmire Knight right now. So, I'm, past the turn. So the next turn I could probably Hooded Blightfane, just see what I'm playing into. Yeah. Or I can Falmire Knight, and then like end up doing Blightfane double major on a later turn. This is a deck that's going to have board clears. I do have to consider that. They're also going to have creature counter spells. I'm just going to develop the Blightfane now. Probably incorrect, but I don't want to like be sitting with this double major in hand for the rest of my games. I have a Call of the Death Dweller for it, so I could get Menace. I could get Eye Twitch, Menacing Falmire Knight, Death Touching Eye Twitch. Like, I have options. I think I have enough options that this is the correct play. Force them to interact, or else I start draining them. Attack first. See if they play a creature in response or something like that. Alright. No plays on turn 3. 3 mana open, no plays. That's unlikely. They have something, they're just waiting for it. Prismari command, alright. Creating a treasure token and dealing 2 damage. Alright. Well, I get to learn. Let's see, do I want Environmental Sciences? Do I want Containment Breach? Do I just want Pest Summoning? I think I just want Pest Summoning. If I Containment Breach their artifacts, they'll just treasure them, basically. Containment Breach is safe, so they can't play artifacts or enchantments. But I think this is the Prismari Command sort of deck. And getting the Pests for Binding of the Old Gods is probably more important. Oh, right. They did that at my end step, so I couldn't actually cast Pest Summoning. Good on them. This is where they play a dragon. 100%. But yeah, the fact that this is a snake so that Blex pumps it up as well is pretty awesome. Alright. So they're definitely the dragon deck. There's a dragon deck that's just a standard theme right now. So, they're definitely that. Not sure how I should how that tells me I should respond, though. Alright. I'm going to start by attacking. Alright. Just continue with my little life drain. Pest Summoning, they saw that coming. And I'll Felmire Knight. I think it's time I play Dark Boar Pathway as a swamp, because, like, just looking, 3 forests is more than enough forests for this deck. I don't really care for their artifacts gain a lot of treasures. Yeah, I need to... Exactly, I need to use it on the Gold Span Dragon that comes out after. So I got Binding this Gold Span, which is very dangerous because they probably have negates and such. But that's why I'm going to attack in first, see if I can pressure them into playing a response. Oof. Because, yeah, this has to be target of a spell, not a spell or ability. So, I can blow this all up as long as they don't have the treasure to negate. Which they might, and that's what it seems like they're doing with this Vadrok maneuver. Wait, hold up. I need to look at Vadrok. Let me see the card it's mutated with. View mutations, thank you. Alright, so its mutate was 4. I was wondering. I was wondering if they didn't get their mana back with that. Yep. So, okay, so there's this combo deck. There's a Vadrok combo deck, and apparently that's what I'm facing. Okay. So now I know what it is. This is a question of, can I kill this Goldspan Dragon? Because if I could kill this Goldspan Dragon, I'm pretty sure they have no tools anymore. Alright. Get Prismari Command. Oh, they get a recast one and... Right, because... So what happens is they have this huge pile on. So every time they get to cast a spell, they get to return a spell to their hand, and they're just going to keep mutating onto this thing, is basically the idea. And these treasures are going to give them enough mana for all these mutations. And they're also going to draw cards so that they could keep this going. So I'm going to try to attack first. 2, 3, 4. I'll have 2 left over. There's nothing I could really do about that. So I just have to attack in, and I just have to play Binding. They're going to have kills for it, I'm certain, but I have to play into the negates. I have to pull the negates out of their deck, basically. I'd be very shocked if they don't have a counterspell for this. Yep. Alright, well, I forced them to unsubstantiate from them. This is only target creature spell. Okay. So we're applying some damage. They do have all their mana open with the Hyper Gold Span, so I do have to worry about that. Alright. So I kind of have to just watch them play around with this deck, see if they can get their combo off. Pulling out... So they're putting 1 in their hand, they're pulling 2 in their hand, and they're casting 1 for free. Alright. So, again, we just have to kind of wait around, watch all these triggers, see if Gokon can actually pull this off. One of the things about this is that this deck, there's a timer that even if you're taking actions, if your turns take long enough, the timer might trigger, forcing you to actually play, like, force you to end your turn, to force you to move at a certain speed. We could win just from that alone. I don't like winning from that and that alone, but we can. Alright. Deal 4 more damage, create a treasure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am starting to threaten more and more. Play another swamp. Ooh. Hey, Kraken Style, how's it going? Hope your session 1 went well. I'm dealing with an opponent that unfortunately is pretty slow. They have basically full control, but I do want to see if they can make a mistake and I can make my way through this. So I am playing through, but they have this Goldspan Dragon here that has all these mutations on it. So whenever they touch this card, they get treasures, they bounce all of their They do all these bounce triggers. They do a bunch of stuff whenever... these treasures, basically they have 12 mana open. Which is ridiculous. Glad to hear it was awesome. Glad to hear it was awesome. The problem right now is we're just dealing with slow players. Binding of the Old Gods is probably going to get unsubstantiated, and then I'll call the Death Dweller. Can you unsubstantiate that as well? Bring back my Foulmire Knight and my Eye Twitch. Yep, forcing to unsubstantiate. And here's the other card that you need to unsubstantiate. Alright. And one will give me a 1/1 Flying Death Toucher. This thing does have First Strike, so that doesn't help me. But I do have some things in the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do have some other things that can help me. Teach you other cakes will draw me cards, stuff like that. So they have to unsubstantiate this. Yep. So yeah, this is basically the issue. They have a bunch of counterspells, and they have a bunch of other stuff like that. That as long as they keep spending and keep this synergy going, they will eventually just get to a point where they counter every single spell. They wipe my board, and they counter every single spell I play. The thing is, I need to force them into a point. I need to make sure they can't reach that point because they don't have the plays to make. Or, in this case, their timer runs low. Don't really like that that's my win condition, run them out of time, but that's what this guy is doing. First session was chaotic, as many should be. Alright, 2 Goldspan Dragons, I don't see how I come out. I'm going to keep playing, as I said, but we're just running out of options. We're just running out of options very quickly. They only have 3 cards, though, so if they buy out of the Old Gods unsubstantiate, I could just Binding of the Old Gods again to counter. Chaotic, but amazing. Always how sessions should go. Alright, so they got rid of their Fire Prophecy. This Hooded Blightfane seems to be something they don't actually have a response to, which is very nice. And if I ever land Binding of the Old Gods on this 4/4 here, then I get... Like, yeah, if I ever land Binding of the Old Gods on this Goldspan Dragon, I think I win the game. But I need to land it on that Goldspan Dragon before they get their Seize the Spoils trigger, which they might have just got. Yep, they just got it. Alright. I'm back. They're back in the driver's seat. So this is going to trigger a bunch of things, and basically they have enough timer for it to work for them, that they're going to cast 2 spells for free, and then get 2 spells into their hand. And there's nothing I could really do about it. So they're going to unsubstantiate my Hooded Blightfane, because of course. Like, they're going to probably burn away one of my skeletons, and they're going to put both unsubstantiates into their hand. Alright, so they took a Seize the Spoils to draw them more cards. Makes sense. But yeah. Alright, so they cast 2 Seize the Spoils, and they're also going to get unsubstantiates in their hand. Alright. Discard the Spikefield Hazard. They have 8 mana and 2 dragons in play. Oof. Just trying to figure out my way through. I'm not sure there is, but I'm going to keep playing it through just to confirm. Every moment makes it less and less likely. They have 2 unsubstantiates, so if I have Binding of the Old Gods, I actually lose. But I can Blex, then Blex double major, and that might actually let me in. So if I draw Blex here, I think I can win the game. But I need to draw precisely Blex. Wow, Spikefield Hazard's my face. Do they have a win condition with that? That they chose my face instead of the pests? Because, again, Blex wins... Ah. I see. So I think their plan is they're going to try to recast Spikefield Hazard 3 times. So they went through a third of their deck. Okay, so they went through half their deck, got 3 Goldspan Dragons, and 3 Vardaks. So I'm going to say they got a bit lucky. This is very much... I will not deny this is a powerful deck. They could have made better plays to probably have locked me out, but I'm going to note that there is some luck here, and just accept it as it is. Triple Prismari Command. Prismari Command deals 2 damage to any target. Okay, okay. I'm not going to wait for you to try to get these triggers ordered. I think I figured out the issue. Let's get on to the next game. So they had 6 mana loaded up. They had 6 damage loaded up against me. I had 3 health. So, not going to worry about that. We're at 2-1 now. So we can't beat the Goldspan Dragon deck. But that's perfectly fine. That's something I can accept. This deck, I just want it to be fun and playable. And like, I think that could actually do better against the Goldspan Dragon deck. Like, if the Binding ever lands. You know, if the Binding ever lands, then that Goldspan Dragon deck gets taken. But I should note that, yeah, I have not cast Blex yet. I have not successfully cast Binding yet. And those are my 2 power cards for this deck, so kind of sucky. Alright, so opponent goes first. I do have amazing 4-drops if I can reach them. I have 3 draws out of land. Yeah, I have 3 draws out of land. If I didn't have 3 draws out of land, I wouldn't take this. But yeah, I get to do this. I get to play Mire Triton. I get to Eye Twitch. And the Eye Twitch actually allows me to like learn for environmental sciences. So, and like look at this hand. If I could get that, if I could get those lands, this. Well, there's the lands. This hand is amazing if I could get the lands, and they don't go off the bottom of my deck. Yorion. We're facing a Yorion deck. This is not good. We need to apply pressure now, just because they will wreck us if we don't. Alright. Use this, grab Environmental Sciences. I don't appreciate that that was my turn, but sometimes your turn is that. So then I'm going to Environmental Sciences, get a Swamp, Eye Twitch, and then on a future turn I could Blex. All these creatures in play are going to be pests, snakes, bats, or the other things that Blex cares about. Yasharn comes into play. I can hope if I draw another land, I can Binding that. Alright. So do I Blex or do I Environmental Sciences, Swamp, Eye Twitch? I think I like this better because it guarantees. Yeah, I like this slightly better because it guarantees. So they get 1 attack with Yasharn. And then I play this, Binding of the Old Gods, the Yasharn, and start applying pressure again. Then I'll have a Questing Beast. I can double Major Blex. That's going to be awesome. Yeah. I think I'm going to enjoy the position I'm going to be in. I'm happy to see that's not a Yorion super counter deck. At least I have that on my side. I think I actually let go of the Questing Beast. I'm actually going to let go of the Questing Beast. I don't care if their acquisitions expert attacks me. If they play Yorion, I can Binding next turn as well. I'll probably have to let go of my Blightfane, but the double majored Blex is probably going to be enough power that even without the Blightfane combo, I'll be fine. So yeah, the question is just, do I want to do... Ooh, there we are. Okay. So they can flash out a fight. They can use their treasure token to force a fight with Blue Kronos. Which is very strong for them. Yeah, I'm going to let go of the Blightfane. Look for a double major Blex. Alright. And it always comes to play tapped, so you just always grab the Zargoth Triumph with this. Alright. Second Binding. They have 9 enough cards to bring out their Pelukrinos. But the Yorion with the Acquisitions Expert is going to be a little concerning. The Yorion plus Charming Prince combo is actually quite devastating. I do want to Binding combo. I just need to figure out how I'm going to pull this off. So let's see if the Yorion... Yeah. Let's see, I actually need to bounce the Charming Prince. Not the place I want to be, but it's where I am. Or, I mean, I have to destroy the Charming Prince. This thing doesn't have Sneaky Reach. Yep. Nope. Alright, so next turn, they do the Yorion trick. So they're going to deal 6 damage, do the Yorion trick, and then I'm going to Blex double major it, attack for 6, and just keep trying to apply pressure. Alright. I really don't like this position. But there's not much I could have gotten out of this. Yorion decks are always annoying. Just something I have to deal with. Probably going to be 2-2 because Yorion deck didn't... Like, even with the bindings, if you get the right cards... They're not playing Yorion. They're not playing Yorion. Interesting. Wow. Alright, let's get ourselves to the last Triome, because one's in the grave. Come on, come on, let me grab it. Alright, so we have a little 1/1 Flying Death Toucher. Yeah, I think we just go with the Blex double major play. Gonna gain us a lot of life. Very least. Gonna turn this Eye Twitch to a 3/3. And then we have 2 4/3s Blexes, which is pretty nice. So we have some synergy. Not exactly how I want it against Pelucranos and such. As I keep getting rid of their threats, they have more triggers for the escape cost for Pelucranos. They have a lot of lands. Alright, so they're fighting a Blex. I gain 4 life off of it. And they now just have a 1/1 Pelucranos. Which I'm gonna oh, they're going to Yorion to bring it back as a... Got it. They can't target Blex because that's a token. So they're going to eat my Eye Twitch. This is really bad for me. Just so everyone knows, this is probably almost in every way worst case. Guess we search for Blex, look for some win conditions. But definitely not in a good spot. Alright, so I guess I'm just dumping my hand. Either that, or I Mire Triton, and then search for Blex. But I think... Gosh, freaking love Struck Beast, man. Just so hard to deal with. Because it's a 5/5 for 3. Like, even if it can't attack, the fact that it can also block, that can block even if it doesn't have that trigger. I'm gonna no attack. I just run it into the... Oh, it had Death Touch. It still would just run into the Love Struck Beast. So now Yorion comes into play, they get Super Pelucranos, and they start fighting again. Not much I can do. Not much I can do. So 2-2, it looks like we're about to be. Does this deck need to be more aggressive? So there's a thing, I do enjoy mid-range decks, so I always build towards mid-range decks, even when I shouldn't. We're still not playing Yorion, but it doesn't matter because I'm so far behind. Alright. I'm gonna tap Locked Wayne. Great. Appreciated. Might as well play it. Still a creature. Still something on board. I feel like this... Yeah, this one is just... I'm dealing with a Yorion deck. I now see why people dislike Yorion decks. This is a not complete deck. I knew that this was standard jank. This is not standard best of the best. This is standard jank. So whenever you face Yorion, whenever you face the just really good stuff, only so much you can do. I'm okay. I have to accept that. Well, they took mine. And there goes the rest of it. So yeah, Plukernos comes back as a 6/6, the Skyclaves. I think I'm just going to concede to save us time this time. They're at 14 health. They have all the triggers they need to take care of stuff. They'll be reanimating Yasharn, gain all the lands out of their deck. They have a Castle Locthwain. Yeah. I'm going to just let this turn resolve, see what we draw. And if from what we draw, I find something worth grabbing. I'll stay in, but... Oh! They could bounce Elspeth Conqueror's Death as well? Yeah. I forgot that this does non-creatures as well. Well, I have a feeling that that's all. Trying to think what we can grab. They're not going to let me through. They'll just fight it with Plukernos. They're in absolute board control. I'm not going to waste time playing through that again. Alright, 2-2. One more game, and then we'll see whether we win or lose. Whether this... So 2-2. It seems like, yeah. So this deck is not standard... Is not high... It's not tier 1. It's not tier 2. But, I mean, Blex... It looked like a fun deck. It seemed like it could pull off what it wants to pull off, which is appreciated. Very much appreciated. Alright, so I go first. I have none of my 2-drops. But if I get a 3-drop, I could get Sedgemoor. Then I could get one more land for questing. I have to mulligan this. Alright. I'm going to throw back the double major. So, let's grab... I think I could go Forest, Swamp, Mire Triton, then Locthwain, Hooded Blightfane. I like that. I like that. Alright. I twitch. Someone of good taste, I see. There's my lands. Oh well. I appreciate your attack. Allows my Mire Triton in. And yes, my Mire Triton is... Oh. Now it's not. Alright. So now instead I'm going to Dina. And I'm going to I-Twitch myself. I'm okay trading a learn for a learn. Alright, they're only attacking with one. I can attack with both next turn. If we learn, what will we even take? Yeah, I'm going to wait to learn. See what it is my opponent's doing. See what it is I need to be doing. There we go. Okay, so now here's the important part. We get this trigger with me on the side that gets to choose order. So, like, if they have 3 mana left open, they're not doing anything with it. Alright. They grabbed Environmental Sciences to help them with land drops. And I can grab Teaching of the Archaics if I'm really ambitious. I think I just grabbed Basic Conjuration. This is a tough one, honestly. Pest Summoning is the safest bet. But yeah, I would definitely like to learn again later. And, like, there's one that was Enchantment Destruction. The highest mana value amongst creatures are planeswalkers they control. Alright. Do I want to lose Dina or Mire Triton? I think I actually would rather lose Dina. No. They have I-Twitch to stop me. I'll lose the Mire Triton. Alright. Whatever. Second Soul Shatter. Okay. Well, they're Soul Shattering my 2-drops. Like, they're paying 3 mana to deal 2 damage. I am happy with those trades. Yeah, I think I attack. They do get a trade, but I gain life. I wipe their boards cleaned off so they can't Necrotic Fume something. Let's see what they learn so we can get a sense of what my opponent's doing. Mascot Exhibition? You have 3 lands, and your mana ruined. So you have 4 mana. You have 4 lands total once you play this. I'm not so sure about this opponent. I mean, I accept it, but I'm not so sure about this. Got another kill spell? Mortality Spear. Nice. I'm thinking about adding Mortality Spears to this deck. Alright. Unfortunately, did not have the mana for that. And if I could get one of my Triomes, then I could hunt for specimens, Teaching of the Archaics, which is pretty great. Skeleton deck. I see. I'm going to keep applying a little pressure. But yeah, that means they're looking for Skeletal Swarming, which means my ability to go learn for Containment Breach is a very good thing. Kind of annoyed that it tapped like that. So I'm going to Foulmire Knight, because that way I could surprise them with a hunt for specimens Skeletal Swarming, or Containment Breach on the Skeletal Swarming. Because they're hoping to get their 5 mana now, which allows them to get to that Skeletons. This goes from your graveyard to the top of your library, which makes this card weak enough that I'm perfectly happy trading my Foulmire Knight for it. No plays, no land drops. I can't double major it, but I think this is a good play. Yeah, it's pretty hard for this not to be a good play. Because here's the big thing about Questing Beast. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Which, fantastic on my part. So yeah, if they start putting that on top of their library, that's actually a positive for me as far as I care. Alright. I am so confident that they're going to have an Artifact Enchantment that I'm just grabbing Containment Breach right now. Yep. Do I cast a Locked Wing just to draw a card, even though it's, mana ruined? I think I attack first, no matter what. If they have a board clear sort of effect, like, yep. Expected, yeah, they had a single target removal. That's what this opponent has shown me that they do. Alright. I won't Dina yet. Ugh. Oh well. I would appreciate a swamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're starting to get close to Mascot Exhibition, which is not good for me. There's the Skeletal Swarming. Knew it was coming. That's why I grabbed the Containment Breach. Alright. And yeah, the double major being stuck in my hand kind of sucks. But, like, I think this is still perfectly fine. Go right ahead. You can deal the 1 damage. I'm not going to block. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One in the snow. So I can, in response, sacrifice these, gain the life triggers while they are, while Dina's still in play. Okay. Where are they going to bring back? Like, I feel like they don't have anything worth bringing back. Moss Pit Skeleton? Yeah, you do that. 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, I'm going to get my own mascot exhibition. Do you have a second blood in the snow? Because that's what you're going to need. You have your own mascot exhibition. That's very nice. Still can't double major this. But I think this is the right play to just play it and swing in. Because they're at such low health. Alright. Because they have to block the Questing Beast. But then how do they block the 4-4? Because the 4-4 needs to be blocked. One of the flyers needs to be blocked, so yeah, that trade has to occur. They're taking 1 damage still. So they have to trade like that, and they lose their board, and I still have the 4-4. And so this way now, it looks like I'm holding up a threat, and then I can still tap the mana to just draw a card at the end of the turn. Alright, so they have a Faceless Haven trigger. But they probably want to use that... Okay. I was going to say use it defensively. You've already seen 2 Questing Beasts. But, if you want to deal some damage, be my guest. We're going to attack first. Force them to jump trade, and then I could get something with... I could get a spell with Sedgemoor Witch. Just gotta figure out which spell I want. So let's see what they're learning. Do they really have a second Mass Expedition? I would not be surprised if they do, honestly. Alright, they just have Pest Summoning. Yeah, I'm gonna basic Conjuration, get myself another creature. And get myself some life in the process. Alright, and Sedgemoor Witch having Menace is actually really huge here. Alright. Of the 2, I like the Hooded Blightfane. And I can even play it. Awesome. Alright. Well, the 2 Sump Pests actually prevents my lethal. The Hooded Blightfane keeps me safe from Crippling Fear. And the Hooded Blightfane still deals 1 damage, even... like, the Pest will gain them a life, but then they lose a life from the Hooded Blightfane, so it's a net positive swing for me. Alright. 3-2. We got 3-2 with this deck. So, what that means is that, of general decks, I think, this deck is actually strong enough. We never did get the combo, though. We never did get, a Binding of the Old Gods trigger. Blex, every time we gotta play them, they got killed. I will not deny there were some issues, but overall this deck performed. And that's good enough in my mind. The Questing Beast definitely did more work. We might need to ramp that up to 3. Sedgemoor, honestly, even though there's not many spells in this deck, the learn cards, because every learn is a sorcery, that was very effective. So, I still like this deck. I recognize, obviously, not tier 1, this is jank. This is jank time, alright? But this is jank that I enjoy. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you find your kind of stupid deck you enjoy. I hope you have a wonderful day.